Okay, today we're looking at Module 2, Lesson 3, Interpreting and Computing Division of a Fraction by a Fraction. We have been working with whole numbers and fractions. Today we're looking at fractions divided by fractions. All right, so we're going to start with something simple. We've been talking all year that even though you may know how to solve it differently, or you may be able to solve equations mentally, it's not always about getting the answer. What I'm trying to teach you is different methods. So we always start with simpler numbers so that you can learn the method. And that's what I test you on, the method. Partial credit for the method, partial credit for the answer. Okay, so let's start. I know you all know this. 12 divided by 3 is 4. See, I told you Module 2 is much easier than Module 1. Okay. So let's stop interrupting. So let's use this easier equation as an example to learn how to set up the models. So we know that this whole thing is 12. Leave room because we're going to do two different models. Okay, we're going to do two models, so leave room in your notes. So 12 divided by 3. So what we could do is divide this into 3 sections. So what is each section worth? 4. And you knew that already because you knew how to solve that mentally. Suppose we drew it this way. Let's look at a second example. Did anybody initially want to separate it differently? Obviously, I failed drawing rectangles in kindergarten.
You can separate it into the third.
All right, well, we want to know how many groups of 3 are in 12. So here's a group of 3. Here's a group of 3. Here's a group of 3. And here's a group of 3. Imagine that 12 was actually broken into your 12s. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So if we look at it as here's a group of 3, here's a group of 3, here's a group of 3, and here's a group of 3. Right? That's the premise, the foundation of what we're going to be using to help us dividing fractions by fractions. All right, so now let's continue and look at it in terms of fractions. Okay, 8/9 divided by 2/9. What is it that we have? Remember, we said that's the question we're going to keep asking. What is it that I have that I'm breaking into groups? 8/9. So, draw your 8/9. If you have a highlighter or a colored pencil, that might be helpful. So draw your 8/9. All right, now my 8/9. Right now, what does each box represent? Each box represents 1/9. So if that helps you, you don't have to write that in each box. You don't have to, but for now, we'll just put that there as a reminder that each unit is 1 out of 9. So far, so good? Questions so far? Okay. How many 9ths do I want in each group? Like Kevin said, how many groups of 2/9 are in 8/9? So I'm looking for groups of how many 9ths? 2. So let's circle. Here are 2/9. Here are 2/9. Here are 2/9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I didn't draw 9ths. Always double count. And here's a group of 2/9. So how many groups of 2/9 are in 8/9? How many groups, everybody? 4. Exactly. So there are 4 groups of 2 ninths. Anybody not sure why I circled 2? Not sure why I circled? Who has a question? Okay, I didn't circle the last ninth because once I have everything that's shaded in a circle, I'm done. Because I want to make sure that all of my 8 ninths are part of a group. Eventually, you'll see where we will circle a white area, but right now I didn't keep going because everything that is shaded in, it belongs to a group. Okay, so that was a good question.
If you have, say, like 1/10, would you circle the last 2?
Well, let's do some more. This is working nicely because they have common denominators. So because they have common denominators, they're already in ninths. So it's easy to circle 2 ninths because they have common denominators. If, say, I don't know, on Monday, they don't have common denominators, because suppose we had to circle groups of thirds. It's not in thirds. What could we do? Yeah, we would find an equivalent fraction so that they have common denominators. But for today, they're all going to have common denominators, okay? All right, let's move on. 9/12 divided by 3/12, common denominators. Making sure you make 12 boxes. And I'm going to shade in 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Now I'm going to double count that just to make sure. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Okay. So any questions on why I drew 9/12? That's what I have. My dividend is what I have. The first number this way is the dividend. Good. I see people double counting. Hey, we all make mistakes. It happens. So so each box represents 1/12. I need groups of 3/12. So let's make groups of 3/12. Now that everything that I shaded in has been circled, I could stop. So how many groups did I make? 3. So 9/12 divided by 3/12 is 3. Any questions on any of that?
Why would the fraction?
Because I made full groups. That's a whole group of 3. That's a whole group of 3. And that's a whole group of 3. But we're going to address that actually in a second. All right, let's look at the next one. 7/9 divided by 3/9. And I think this is going to answer your question, and it's going to answer your question now. Okay? So let's illustrate 7/9. On Monday's notes, I will have the boxes already drawn for you. 1, 2, 3, 7. Why can't I draw tape diagrams today? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay. Oh boy. All right. I think I have images of sweet potatoes and pumpkin rolls and turkey basting and sausage stuffing dancing in my head, and I've lost the ability to count. All right. So we have 7/9. We need groups of 3/9. That tape diagram's freaking me out, but I'm going to leave it alone. So 3/9. 3/9. Now, did I circle everything that was highlighted? No. So I have to make another group of 3. This is quite possibly the worst tape diagram I've ever drawn in my life. But now, I still made a group of 3 because I was making groups of 3. So here's a whole group. Here's a whole group. What do I see in that group? What is that? Love all the hands in the air. And everybody. 1/3. So our answer is 2 and 1/3. Let's continue. Now we see here a number line. Instead of using a tape diagram, we could use a number line. We'll do both right now to practice them. But first we have to figure out the division equation that they're asking us to solve. It's asking us how many fourths are in 3/4. So what's the division equation that we should write first? What's the division equation for how many fourths are in 3/4? What's my dividend? What do I have? Right, so we have 3/4 divided by 1/4. Any questions on how we wrote that division equation? Since we've been using tape diagrams, why don't we do that one first? We have 3/4. And we want groups of 1/4. So that made 3 whole groups. And I was able to stop circling because everything that was shaded in is in a group. So now instead of doing a tape diagram, we could use a number line. So draw your number line. It's labeled in fourths, 0, 1/4, 2/4, 3/4, and 4/4. So here's 1/4, here's a 4th, here's a 4th. So whether you use a tape diagram or a double number line, you'll still get the same answer. God bless. You could use either model. There has to be a model. All right. Look at number 2. Next page. You skipped over the next part. And I don't want to do it. Number 2. Alright, so draw your 4/5. 4/5 divided by 2. So we have 4/5. We need groups of 2/5. 1, 2. Is everything shaded? Included in a group? So our answer is 2. That was very cute. Okay. Somebody looked ahead and just was like, whoa. You ready? Let's go take a peek. Whoa. All right. Shh. Now, why did this intimidate you, Kevin? When you looked at the next one, why did you go, whoa? It's an improper fraction. What we have is 9/4. So this is why sometimes somebody may choose a number line. But I'm going to show you how to do it in a tape diagram too, because I'm just cool like that. Yeah. So right now, let's do the number line. So go ahead, come on, sure, but leave room so we can do a tape diagram also, either below it or next to it. So 1/4, 2/4, 3/4, 4/4. You may associate that with one whole. Now we could go 1 and 1/4, 1 and 2/4, but it might be easier to just do how many fourths? I have 5/4, 6/4, 7/4, 8/4, 9/4, and this could go on forever. I don't know why they chose to stop at 11. They could have stopped at 12, because then 12/4 would have been an even 3. But that's when they chose to stop, as long as we passed 9/4. Now I'm going to tell you a little secret, or I don't know. The one thing I don't like about the double number line, about the number line, is that you can't clearly see like your shaded in area. If you want to take out your highlighter and highlight to 9/4, so you know when to stop making your groups, you can highlight your number line. That's definitely a strategy that you could use. Or if you just want to make this bolder, because 9/4 is our dividend, and that's what we have. All right, so now let's make our groups of 3. Okay, here's a group of 3. Here's a group of 3. Here's a group of 3. So I was able to make 3 groups of 3. Write this down, please. Ready to see a tape diagram? Tape diagram. All right, how do we draw an improper fraction as a tape diagram? Well, we're working with fourths. So let's look at fourths. That's right. You're on fire today. I love it. So here's a group of fourths. Here's 4/4. And here's 4/4. How many fourths do we need? So here are 4, 8, 9. So now my tape diagram shows 9/4. Who's not sure where that came from? How I drew it that way. Each tape diagram represents fourths, and I colored in 9 of them. We okay with that? Okay. Let's make groups of 3 the same way. Uh-oh. Can I jump like this?
Yeah.
Sure. And how many whole groups did I make? 3. So really it's the same way. Whether you use the number line or a tape diagram, you're still going to get the same answer. Any questions on this? I mean, people are still copying, so I'll pause. All right, let's look at the next one because I have to answer this young lady's question. All right, 7/8 divided by 2/8. Go, draw your tape diagram. Draw your 7/8.
They're still running.
Good. Draw your 7/8. Okay, so now, Missy and Missy, this is going to answer both of your questions, okay? You ready? Watch. Watch and be amazed. Watch and learn. So we need groups of 2. So here is a group of 2. Here's a group of 2. Here's a group of 2. Okay, so now, Maddie, your question was, when do you keep going? Is everything that's gray in a group? No. But am I going to make a full group? I have to draw another group of 2. Here's a group of 2. So 1, 2, so I have 3 whole groups, and what's left in this group? 1/2. So this one is 3 1/2. Questions on that? Still, we're going to keep getting to your questions.
I have a question. Like, when you're doing that.
This is exciting. Let's do another one. Ooh, look at, oh my, look at that. Okay, so we're not afraid of no tape diagrams. All right, so 13/10 divided by 2/10. So this tape diagram on the left shows 10/10. And instead of drawing 10 all the way across, they drew it that way, and that's okay. And here's another one. But for my girl over here, I'm going to draw a number line.
Do we have to draw the number line?
To you. Do you want to draw both methods so that you have a reference? Now, this is an example where the number line might be easier, and I'll show you why. So, how many tenths? All right. All right. I know they're playing music next door, but nothing is as cool as tape diagrams. So stay with me. All right.
I'm not arguing. Frankie Peter mad.
Okay. So now I have to find groups of 2/10. So 2/10, 2/10, 2/10, 2/10, 2/10, 2/10, 2/10. So how many whole groups did we have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then a half. So 6.5. Now on my number line, I'm going to highlight how far I needed to go. So that's 13/10. I love that idea of highlighting the number line. Glad I thought of it. I think that's a good idea. Otherwise, you forget where to stop. It could get a little confusing when to stop. So groups of 2. So now, Grace, this answered your question before. Should I stop my number line at 13/10? The answer is no. Keep going because you may need those blanks to complete another group. So again, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.5. So no matter what method you use, we still get 6.5 groups of 2/10 in 13/10. So whenever you are drawing an improper fraction as a tape diagram, you're going to have 2 tape diagrams, and both tape diagrams have to have that full denominator in them. Okay, so here, 11/9, I have to draw 2 tape diagrams of 9. So that's 9/9. Watch, Michael. There, I had to do another set of 9s. So when I shaded it in, here's my 11/9. Here's 9/9. And then 11/9.
Okay.
So you have to draw, if it's an improper fraction, you're always going to have to draw 2 full tape diagrams. And then you can start your circling.
Did I get a reply?
Okay, so we're going to circle groups of 3, 3, 3. Now we have to circle another group of 3. Now this is where it gets confusing because we didn't highlight the number line. So this is exactly why we want to highlight up to our 11/9. Since we have to make groups of 3, we want to make sure that we extend that number line so that it keeps going so we can make our groups of 3. So we have 1, 2, 3 whole groups, and then here we have 2/3. So 3 and 2/3. Now to look at on the tape diagram, groups of 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. So 3 whole groups, and then the last group had 2/3. So that is your answer. So you can choose which easier, is the number line or the tape diagram to solve dividing fraction by fraction.